Hey guys, good morning. What's happening? Greg of Franklin Equipment Sales wanted to come to you today and talk about how to properly install a bar and chain on your STIHL chainsaw. This customer brought this one in due to the bar being pretty burned up at the tip here and also the sprocket being worn down, and I'll show you more once we get this removed. The first step before we do anything on these is we go ahead and make sure that we clean this unit off. That way, while we're working on it or replacing the bar and chain, we can make sure we see everything clearly. All right, so now once we have the exterior part of the saw cleaned up so we can work on it and visibly see everything good, we're gonna remove the side cover, starting with the bar nut. First of all, just loosen it up, and then before you take it completely off, come here to your chain tensioner and loosen your chain tensioner all the way up. Once you get it completely backed off, then you can go ahead with removing the side cover. Now that we have our bar and chain off, we can inspect anything to make sure there's no other damages on the bar. And then also we can inspect our sprocket wear and anything else in here. So we're going to look at this sprocket, and if you can see, there's a little bit of wear on this sprocket. We'll show you what a brand new one looks like, but nothing that's going to warrant replacing this yet. So this sprocket probably has 80% life left in it. Now we're going to make sure that our slot here where our chain tensioner goes back and forth is completely clean. We're just going to wipe any debris out and blow out with a little compressed air. Now we're ready to put our bar and chain back on. So the easiest way to install your bar and chain is, once again, make sure that your tensioner slide is all the way back, and then just come and install your bar on here. Make sure that it's completely flat on the back side here, not sticking out or pushed in. And then take your chain, always making sure that your cutter tooth is going in the proper direction, and place it on your sprocket. Put it down in your groove, come around to the tip of the bar and work it around here. And then make sure that everything lines up, that it's on your sprocket and not caught in this groove behind your washer. Take your chain cover, come here and then place it back on. Look down, make sure that it's not caught up in your chain catcher, and then install your bar nut with your fingers first, getting it started. Come here, snug it up just a little bit to make sure you are lined up with everything. Give it one quick look over. This is not tight, it's just snug, so now we can go ahead and start putting tension on our chain. So what we always do is we come here, pick up on the front of the bar. I'm going to loosen this up just a touch. Put tension on the front of the bar to pick it up, and then start tightening your chain. As you are tightening it, you will see that your chain is starting to move up here. This gap is starting to get narrower. Once it starts touching, you want to kind of let it go and give it a roll. Make sure that it's in all of your grooves properly. And then we're going to come here and do our final tighten. Now that it's tightened up, I'm still holding the bar up. I'm going to go ahead and tighten my bar nut. You don't want to muscle down and overkill this. You just want to get it good and snug. Now, a lot of people ask, what's the proper tension on a chain? Some people go by lifting it up. Some people go by simply rolling it to see how much. The proper tension would be when you pull this up, you can only get at most 3/4 of your link out of there in the center. Or when you roll it, there's resistance, but not a ton of resistance. I'm actually going to put just a little bit more tension on this, loosen it back up, and just turn it about a 1/4 of a turn and tighten it back up. So now I have resistance I can get right at 3/4 of the link out, and it's ready to go. Now, after you run it for a few minutes the first time with the new chain, you will need to stop and retighten your chain. If you don't, what you're going to do is wear your sprocket out faster, and also you're going to make your chain stretch quicker as well. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Stay tuned. Next week, we're going to be talking about how to replace a sprocket on your chainsaw. If you haven't, go ahead and subscribe, like, and comment. If you want to see anything on this channel, let us know. And we look forward to seeing you next Tuesday.